Hello, everyone. I'm City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Thanks for joining us for Access City Council. Coming up on this show, residents in Ward 2 get the chance to meet and mingle with the man in charge of one of the largest police departments in the country. And we put the faces with the voices you're likely to hear when you contact the Ward 2 City Council office. Two of Councilwoman Victoria Seaman's staff will join us later in the show. Here to talk about these topics and more is Ward 2 City Councilwoman Victoria Seaman. Welcome to the program. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Good to see you back. Good to see you back. You've been very busy. We have a lot to cover.
We have a lot to cover.
Spring is always a busy time. A lot of events, and you capitalized on that.
And we're finally in spring, right?
Exactly. We finally made it. I know it seemed like the longest winter we've ever had. I know. So, Councilwoman, you and I both live in Ward 2. That's our area. For those of you out there not exactly sure where we're talking about, well, don't worry, we're going to show you the map. It's basically the area west of the Rainbow Curve, if you're going to try to get your bearings here. That area in orange, if you live in that area or work in that area, of course, you're in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. And if you're a resident out there, you're represented on the city council by Victoria Seaman. So, fast area of town. We always talk about this, that area west of the 215.
Growing.
Wow, amazing. So,
growing.
But, hey, that's what keeps us humming around here. There's lots to do. So, well, Councilwoman, like I said, you had a lot going on since you've been on the program last time around. We should mention that every month you do a Breakfast Buzz and a Ward 2 Biz. It's a chance for people informally to get together. Used to travel around. Now it's out at Veterans Memorial.
Now it's at Veterans Memorial. We kind of outgrew all the restaurants.
I know, because we're going to show everybody that the turnout is really good. This was back on April 8th. And yeah, you have quite a crowd.
We do.
There.
So the one coming in at the end of May will actually be at Charlie's Lakeside.
Okay.
But very rarely now do we move from Veterans Memorial, because we really did outgrow all the restaurants, and they don't want us to take up all their space on a Saturday morning.
Right.
So.
I just want to get a coffee. So yeah, again, amazing turnout. Questions you get really kind of run the whole perspective, right? You get
right now we have a podium up there because we get so many questions, and we walk around with a microphone to actually this is the purpose of doing it, so we can address those constituent issues. And every month we have someone from Metro and one of our marshals come, and they get most of the questions.
Interesting.
Yeah, because public safety is number one.
Right. It's going to be about car break-ins, burglaries, what issues, traffic issues, those kinds of things. Yeah. So, well, very good. And again, I want to remind everyone, as Councilwoman said, she does those once a month. They've been recently at Veterans Memorial, but the one end of May is going to be at Charlie's Lakeside.
Yeah, and it's always on a Saturday. It's always once a month, and it's always from 9 to 10.
Yeah.
It's just on a different date each month.
Right.
So if someone's on our social media or they can get on our email, they'll be notified of the next one.
And again, just a very informal way to meet the councilwoman, talk about issues, meet your neighbors as well.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have to come down to City Hall to do
That's
it.
Right. That's right.
So easy schmeezy. Councilwoman, then we had a document shredding event up in Ward 2, same day, April 8th.
Well, right after.
Yeah, you went from one to the other. And I took part in this, in fact, but I came a little later. I missed the line here.
You missed the crowd,
thank
right?
goodness.
Yeah, so it's a great event. People come, they're able to drop off whatever boxes. I think they're limited, though, but whatever papers.
It's either 3 or 5, three or five
yeah,
boxes.
It's enough, because we do it twice a year. And they're able to, it's good so that they don't have their identity stolen, to get it shredded and pulverized professionally.
Exactly, and that was a perfect time to do it, too, close to tax season. Why keep those old tax forms after 3 years? You don't have to keep them anymore.
You don't have to.
Get rid of them, and all that personal information, very important personal information, is not going to show up missing or end up in somebody else's hands that you don't want to have happen. So. Shredding events we do a couple times a year, but they're in all the wards. So if you've got a bunch of documents that need to be shredded, you visit the city's website, lasvegasnevada.gov, search for the council offices, and somebody's always doing it.
Yeah, search for the one closest to you, or if you really need to go to the ward right next to you, I'm sure it's fine. But we do like to accommodate people with identity theft is so common.
It's really common, a lot more common than people think. And for those who are victims of it, it is a nightmare to unravel all of the trouble that comes with it. So take care of those documents. And again, we've joked about this in the past. those little personal shredders at home. You put the paper in, and it kind of shreds it.
You can kind of tape it
Yeah,
together.
you can put it all back together. This shredding,
Yeah.
this Shred It is the company, and it's turns it into just like confetti. So there's no way that it could be put back together. So that would be the biggest crossword puzzle of all time. So, I'm sorry, jigsaw puzzle of all time. Councilwoman, you had a teletown hall with Sheriff McMahill, new Sheriff McMahill. This was back on April 12th. Huge turnout on this as well, right?
We had thousands of people jump on that
amazing.
call. And, we got to as many questions as we could, and the sheriff answered most of those all the ones that we were
Pertinent
able to
him,
take.
right,
yeah,
exactly,
and we were able
exactly.
to accommodate. It was so successful that we've decided to do a live town hall.
Okay, great.
So we'll be doing that in the next few months because it's important for people to know the sheriff.
Yeah.
I mean, he is out there, and people, he's out in the community, and he's very accessible. But it was really enjoyable for him to answer the questions that were most concerning to the public.
He's very accessible, been very well received as the new sheriff. He was sworn in January, and he's hit the ground running. I was amazed at how many people took part in that teletown hall. It's the way of the world these days. We're in a digital world, and people just took advantage of that.
They did,
yeah.
yes.
How long did it go, Councilwoman?
It went about an hour.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So the next
it went
one,
really fast.
Oh yeah, lots of questions. So the next one that you're going to do with the sheriff,
it's going to be live,
Oh,
so that people can actually see the sheriff. And I'm sure we won't have as many, but there'll be plenty of people there who will have questions, and it'll probably run about the same time.
And we'll be sure, of course, everybody to make sure the date of all of that, where it's going to be, time, place, etc. So that'll be coming up. And then, Councilwoman, I love this too. When you call for volunteers, you always get a great turnout. You had a park cleanup back on April 15th. This was at KZ, Kellogg's Air?
Yep, Kellogg's Air Park. And Get Outdoors Nevada does an amazing job of bringing everyone together. It's a great partnership we have with them, and they do keep our parks clean.
They sure do. They help us quite a bit. They do what we always call the micro trash, and that's kind of what the councilwoman is over there picking up. It's those little small pieces of stuff that our maintenance crews just don't have the time to get to every little scrap like that. So the volunteers, and you saw how many we had, they sweep through there and get all of that stuff picked up, make the park
We had Meadow
pristine.
students, we had Wynn
Resorts,
employees.
great. Thanks
So it
to
was
them.
great.
Appreciate that. And we'll have plenty of other opportunities down the road for people to volunteer. We love volunteers, especially for those big park cleanups. So check out the city's website, lasvegasnevada.gov, Councilwoman's page. Get Outdoors Nevada, too, also will connect you if you're interested in getting out. Maybe you've got a service project that you've got some either students or whatever might.
Or, if they need credits.
Yeah, right.
It's perfect. Just reach out to Get Outdoors Nevada or my office.
Yeah, we'll get you
and
connected.
And we'll get you those credits.
Yeah, we'll put you to work.
And we'll clean up our park.
Yeah, exactly. Councilwoman, also that same day, April 15th, there was a dedication out at the lakes. This usually happens around Memorial Day, doesn't?
Well, this was something completely different. They did a boulder dedication for
I see.
Those who have served and given the ultimate sacrifice, the missing in action. And it was really beautiful. If people have not gone out to see the new boulder, please do. It's at the lakes, and it's absolutely beautiful.
And this is the lakes. We don't mean Lakes Mead or Mojave. We mean
the lakes in
lakes
Ward
community,
2.
exactly, in Ward 2.
It's such a beautiful area.
It is very peaceful. They do a ceremony. You've taken part in it every year, Councilwoman, where on Memorial Day they'll lay a wreath on the water. Very akin to what the Navy has done or the Coast Guard over the years, but this was a different dedication.
This is a different dedication, and we will be laying the wreath Memorial Day
on the water.
On the water. So I encourage people to come out. That's really beautiful as well.
Some of the folks you were talking with there, I think they lost spouses in some of our
Yes, there was
conflicts.
a Gold Star woman who lost her husband in Vietnam,
Wow.
and it's just amazing that they're still remembering their loved ones after all these years and paying tribute to them. And I was so happy that she was there.
Well, we all should be doing that.
Yes,
because,
absolutely.
While the war was just part of the history books for some of us. It was
well, and
their lives.
People
and,
sacrifice their lives.
Exactly.
And we should always remember. And I love that we do as a community. We honor them and we remember them. And it's so important because almost every one of us knows someone or has had a family member who served.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And not everyone comes back, and I think that's the point of the dedication out there.
Yeah.
So, well, good stuff there, Councilwoman. I'm glad we're remembering those folks. And then, speaking of Metro, we'll jump back to that real quick here. The Night of Power, you were involved with this. This was April 17th. Tell everybody what the Night of Power is. This was a big event.
Well, during Ramadan, there's one night that's so important above all, and that's the Night of Power. And this has kind of been a tradition in Summerlin Area Command, where Captain Sims invites the leaders of the community to break the fast. And they have a place where they can pray. And this year they invited many leaders of all faiths.
Oh, that's great.
And it's the second one I've attended, and it's an amazing event.
That's David Sims.
That's David Sims, Captain David Sims.
Former commander there at the Summerlin Area Command. He's moving on to bigger and better things.
Yes, he is.
He's just a great man, and this is such a wonderful event because, as you said, Councilwoman, it brings people, our community is so diverse, and it brings all the diversity in our community together in unity. It's great to see.
Right, and teaches a lot of folks that don't know about Ramadan.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's one of their holiest holidays,
right.
So it's very interesting.
Metro has really done a great job. They call that community-oriented policing, where they really try to forge a relationship with all segments of the population here. And I think it's paid dividends because people realize we're in a partnership with the police. They're not adversaries. And not all the communities around the country, as we well know, can say that.
Right.
That's something Metro's worked very hard to accomplish here. And Night of Power is a perfect example of that. So
it is.
It's funny when people get together in a community like ours and we share our similarities versus our differences. It's amazing what happens. It's
it
good
is
stuff.
amazing.
So,
Yeah.
and you took part. You said this is the second one you've been involved with?
The second one
Good
I've
for
been
you.
with. And I also have a very good friend who had a couple of events at his house of breaking the fast. So I went over and participated in that as well. And one of the officers who happens to be of a Muslim faith was also there. So
good.
it's very interesting to be a part of somebody else's culture and learn about it.
Sure, and that's what makes Las Vegas great. We're often called the melting pot of the melting pot, and we are. And again, I think that's one of the things that makes Las Vegas such a great city.
So unique.
Yeah. And then, Councilwoman, I love this too. At our council meeting back on April 19th, you recognized the Nevada Consular Corps. I learned something on this. I didn't realize that we had all these consulates represented with volunteers here.
Right.
And it's more than 20, and you recognized them at our city council meeting that day.
And they do so much work in the community as a volunteer, and I felt that we needed to recognize them. Two of them are full-time, and that would be Mexico and El Salvador, as we talked
Exactly,
about.
yeah.
And the rest of them, you see all of them there, volunteer their time. And you know, at times it can take up a lot of time when you have an issue from someone from those individual countries.
Exactly. I know we had Italy, I know was represented. Korea was represented. And which is so important because if you're a tourist and you come to Las Vegas, and we get 40 million tourists here a year, and then you lose your passport or you lose your wallet, and all of a sudden you're stuck. The consulate or these consulate volunteers who are certified by the U.S. State Department.
That's right.
Will help you unravel your problem and get you back where you need to go and hopefully home again then. So,
that's right.
But
and they don't have to travel to a bigger city like Los Angeles.
Right.
They have help right here.
Exactly, in Las Vegas. So Councilwoman said Mexico and El Salvador have full-time paid staff from their countries here. The rest are volunteers. I did not know that. I think Ireland was represented, if I'm not mistaken, Italy. Romania, yeah, and so, which makes sense because
Sweden.
We get tourists from everywhere, and so you're covered if you're here. And you run into a problem, we got you. We got your back. And then, Councilwoman, too, you had your Art in the Park. I know this is one of your favorite events every year. This took place back on April 22nd over at Bruce Trent Park. And what a great place. Beautiful park, lots of shade.
The weather was perfect.
Yeah, and you just had all the playground equipment's all been redone over there. It's looking really great. And boy, what a wonderful
And I think
turn.
we had twice the amount of vendors.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So it was really quite amazing.
You know, it's funny, after the pandemic, it seems like people are really ready to get back into the swing of things.
They really
and so
are. Yeah.
events like this, hey, there's a couple of your staff members there. That's important because we're going to be talking about them in just
That's
a few
right.
minutes. But events like that are so important. And I think we're seeing that
It brings community together.
It does, and I think after the pandemic, or at least it seems to be at least waning, I hope I didn't jinx that, people are really ready to get out and do again. So it
Yes.
seems like all of our events have just had amazing participation following
right.
the
That's
pandemic.
right.
So
Very excited about
nobody's
that.
taking anything for granted
Nope.
these days. Well, Councilwoman, the photo of Marianne and Brian was important because we're going to talk with them in just a couple minutes. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll have a couple of special guests join us. If you've ever called into Councilwoman Seaman's office, it's very likely your call was answered by one of her very attentive staff members. When we come back, we're going to introduce you to Brian Hubble and Marianne Rambala right after this.
Hey, dude, I know the wait for a ride tonight is ridiculous. In a cab, it would be super expensive.
It would totally suck to have to come back to get your car.
But man, you know what else would suck? You getting you killed, driving home wasted.
If you won't listen to anyone else, at least listen to you. Save yourself. Always drive sober. Paid for by the Nevada Departments of Public Safety and Transportation.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
DEPR.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Welcome back, everyone. As promised, we've got a couple of staff members from Councilwoman Seaman's office here. Joining us is Brian Hubble and Marianne Rambala. Welcome, Brian and Marianne. It's great to have you here. We love doing this, Councilwoman, because
do.
people reach out to your office, and sometimes it's like, let's put some faces with names of the people that they're talking to. And these are two of your great staff. There's a third, Dave McGowan. And we've had Dave on in the past.
We have.
We
It's
have.
been a while, though.
It has. You know, I have to
Yeah.
get him back because he
I
just
will.
enjoyed it so much. so.
Yes. Yes.
But you've got Brian here and you've got Marianne. And Marianne, let's start with you. You guys field questions about all kinds of things, and a lot of it isn't even about city stuff, right? But you guys help point them in the right direction where they need to be.
Yes, we just love bringing the community to where they need to go to get their questions answered, and we're here to serve them.
Yeah, exactly. And some of those questions are related to us. They're city related, but some of them are state or federal. And you guys help them navigate. This is who you contact. So.
100%.
Exactly. And Brian, now Marianne has been with the city in the past. You're a new staffer here at the city. How's it going so far?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's. I'm so grateful. It's a dream job. Can be stressful at times, but it's worth it.
Brian, what I've seen for both you and Marianne, I was out at that shredding event. You both were out there. You're out at a lot of events. I see you on Councilwoman's social media, and you guys don't work just a straight 40-hour week. You know, you're all over. You're on the weekends, and because you are too.
Very loyal,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
dedicated. We are not a 9-to-5 job Monday through Thursday because we're closed on Friday.
we are.
We have had for the last 5 weeks, it's including the weekend coming up, Sundays where we have events.
Yeah, I know you have.
So, and there'll be a couple this coming Sunday. So the staff, we let them know when they start that, we have events for council all the time. And these two are willing to go out and be there for the constituents. They are very dedicated to their job.
You are. I know that you're out there, and it does get better, you guys, because the spring and the fall are the busiest times. It slows down a little in the summer and in the winter time, so you get a bit of a break then, but maybe not too much. Brian, let me ask you this. When people contact the office, you field a lot of calls, you and Marianne both, and David. to help the councilwoman help these folks.
Right.
What is really helpful for you when people contact the office? Things that, when they reach out, things that help you get them on the right track to what they need?
Well, just being very specific in, the request or what the issue is, so then I can know where to direct, if it's public safety,
Exactly.
All the different departments, because we have so many departments here. So it's just really helpful when they're very specific and they know what the issue is, then give us the specific address, cross streets,
Yeah,
just
times,
anything.
all that.
Yes.
And then how to get back in touch with them. Sometimes people will reach out to my office and they'll have a question about something, but then they won't indicate how to get back in touch with them. It's like,
Right.
how would you like us to reach back out to you? So always good to know as well. And what are you guys hearing? I know Councilwoman hears a lot of things. What are some of the issues in the community that are most common?
They like their parking to be enforced a lot, so we're calling parking enforcement. We have, that's our main thing I hear a lot about these days.
What, people park too close to the stop sign, or in a neighborhood that's just the car just sits there, or what, Marianne?
Residents like to park in front of their homes.
And when others are doing that, it's a problem. I
or
gotcha.
big trucks or commercial vehicles.
Gotcha. And in those situations, sometimes that is a violation of the code, and
it definitely is,
we will we'll get our code enforcement people out there. What else, Brian? What else are you hearing very common?
A little bit of graffiti, just in specific areas. Some homeless, some unhoused issues. And then, like Marianne said, some parking enforcement.
Interesting. Who would have thought? It's interesting, Brian, about graffiti. Don't get a lot of graffiti in Ward 2, but we've got a great team that goes out and addresses it right away. So we need, to your point, you need to know the location, really important, be specific. Instead of what's along Vegas Drive or something, it's like, well, where along Vegas Drive? Then our crew will be able to go right to it, and they'll cover it up. I think the philosophy is, Councilwoman knows, if you cover the graffiti before it starts to multiply, it really has a calming effect on it.
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, most of the areas are pretty clean.
They are.
Especially in Ward 2.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Don't get a lot of it, but we're ready.
It's because we're on it.
Exactly. And what else, Brian? You mentioned the graffiti, and what was the other? There was the other issue.
Some unhoused folk issues. Unfortunately,
that is an issue that we see across the entire valley. It's something. It used to be often. I think the stereotype was it was just unique to downtown Las Vegas.
Not anymore.
Not the case.
No.
It's a little bit of everywhere. So we have resources available. That's the thing. We have more teams. They mostly concentrate on the downtown, but if there's I think Brian, obviously, we certainly can visit any area of the city of Las Vegas, and we can make sure that maybe they are connected with the services that will help get them.
Exactly what we do.
Exactly, get them housed, get them whatever services they need. Brian and Marianne, Councilwoman and I see this often. Tell us your experience. People get very confused. Las Vegas has some nuances jurisdictionally. People are sometimes very confused as to where they live, what jurisdiction they're in. Do you deal with a lot of those questions?
Yeah, but we have a way we can punch an address and find the ward. So if it's not in our ward, we can direct them to the ward that they belong to. So
or if it's in the
county as well.
Yeah.
So
oftentimes people think, well, my address says Las Vegas, I must be in the city of Las Vegas, and that's not the case.
Well, they might be, but it's not our jurisdiction.
That's right. They might be in the county. Exactly. Anything south of Sahara typically is going to be in Clark County versus in the city of Las Vegas. So, but hey, we'll still. That's okay. We know where we know the area we're talking about. This is who to contact to get that straightened out. Councilwoman, as far as you're concerned, how do you think they're doing so far?
I think they're doing incredible, and to their credit, to Brian's credit, both my Marianne and Dave had to be gone at the same time when he first started. So I got to tell you, he ran the entire office.
Wow, that's impressive.
And so kudos to him.
And he was a new guy,
He was
too.
a new guy,
Yeah.
you know, so we're giving him a lot of slack because this guy ran the office. He was
Nice.
amazing.
See, Brian,
And
look at you.
both of them are very new, even though Marianne had been with the city before. It's very different when you work for a different council member.
Sure, and different area town. The
Different
issues in
area
one
town.
ward are different sometimes from others, and yeah, so there's a lot of adjustment there.
So both of them are doing fantastic. I mean, they're just learning everything, and you know, I'm still learning as a councilwoman.
We all do.
So,
We all do every day.
So I have to say they're doing great. You know, we hit bumps sometime, but we just keep moving forward. And so I'm grateful to have them. We miss Brianna because she was with me for 4 years.
She was great.
But it's hard to notice that she's gone now because I have two amazing people.
She moved on to the Department of Public Safety, got a great job. So we're keeping her at the city. It's just,
I'm so happy she got a good job.
Yeah,
That's what we encourage, you know, if you can move forward in the city, because we're not going to be here forever as council members. And so we encourage that. And so these guys have a great future ahead of them, even after me.
I like that. I like that. We have a couple minutes left, you guys. Marianne, tell us, how long have you been in Las Vegas?
I've been in Las Vegas 20 and a half years.
Yeah, so you've been here a while. You know the community well, and originally from
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, exactly. But
moved here when I was 27.
But here you are now, and if you've been here anything more than 5 years, you're a native in Las Vegas.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
So you're a native. Don't worry. And then Brian, how about yourself? Are you from?
I'm a native.
Are you? Yeah. Wow. Good for you.
Grew up in the first part of Summerlin, in the hills.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding. So you went to high school at Palo?
Cimarron Memorial.
Cimarron Memorial?
Before Palo.
Oh, see, okay.
That's right.
Sorry, I
That's
dated you there.
right.
I'm sorry, Brian.
And I have to tell you, him and I are both graduates, same time, UNLV, Urban Studies.
Oh, very good.
Yes,
See, look
yes.
at that. How about that? And
That's how we met.
So, Brian, good for you. A lot of youngsters these days are born and raised here, but that's good to see that we've got some natives that are not, millennials either,
That's right.
So I like that. Well, it's great having you both on. Good luck to you. Councilwoman obviously thinks you're doing a great job, and we do too. So, folks, when you contact the Councilwoman's office, chances are you're going to talk to either Brian or Marianne. As you can see, they know what they're doing. So, Councilwoman, we're going to tell everybody out there, hey, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with the Councilwoman Seaman, you can find her on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also contact her by picking up the phone. The number is 702-229-2420, or you can send her an email. The address is ward2@lasvegasnevada.gov, and she or one of her great staff will get right back to you. In fact, as two of those great staffers are right here. So, well, Councilwoman, great job. Great to have you back again. We'll have another visit with you in 6 weeks. It'll be here before we know it.
Looking forward to it.
In the meantime, put these
We'll
guys.
have plenty to report.
I know you will. Put these guys at work, I think they're already doing a lot. So thanks to you both. Thank you, Councilwoman. And folks, don't miss our next show beginning on April 11th with Ward 5 City Councilman Cedric Creer. You can catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire right now. Also, watch for our QR code at the end of this show to subscribe to our newsletter. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time around.